Chapter 13, 26, Rise in Formation Path. Attainment Level. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. A while later, after 2 tries, Fang Yuan successfully constructed a goo formation in the dream realm. This goo formation still used formation heart goo as the core. It was just that the earth path goo worm was hovering above the formation heart goo, while the fire path and wind path goo worms revolved around the water path goo worm. And the water path goo worm spanned the distance of a hand below the formation heart goo, continuously moving up and down. The goo formation made by these goo worms emitted a hazy white light that shrouded the panther. That's right. This goo formation was an entrapment goo formation targeted at the panther and did not protect the goo master themselves. Constructing it was not easy. The panther continuously moved around, influencing the construction of the goo formation. Occasionally, Fang Yuan had to stop and wait for the panther to move away from a specific location one. This was also the reason why Tu Shicheng gave 5 minutes. Fang Yuan needed the time to arrange the formation. Ha ha ha, good. You are indeed my son. You will continue to study with me in the following days. In a month, there will be an even stricter test which will concern your life and death. If you cannot pass, you shall die. Tu Shicheng laughed, his laughter containing madness. Fang Yuan's young body was standing inside the cage. He glanced at the panther that was constantly struggling inside the goo formation, and then glanced at Tu Shicheng, sighing softly. This formation path dream realm's 2nd stage was passed. Next was the 3rd stage. Fang Yuan followed Tu Shicheng to a riverside where the tides were coming in fast. Looking at the water of this river that was flowing to the east and was red like blood, Fang Yuan immediately realized this was Southern Border's Red Dragon River. Southern Border had 3 great rivers that passed through the whole region: Red Dragon River, Jade Dragon River, and Yellow Dragon River. Fang Yuan immediately had a bad feeling when he saw this river. Sure enough, at the next moment, he heard Tu Shicheng's voice. I have already lent you the goo worms. Now you can only depend on yourself. If you cannot construct a goo formation, you are well aware of the consequences. Fang Yuan was just about to speak to stall for time, but he was slapped on the back by Tu Shicheng. Fang Yuan was simply unable to resist the enormous strength and was immediately pushed into Red Dragon River. Faster is to kill! Fang Yuan cursed inwardly as he fell into the surging river and was immediately swept away by the current helplessly. Fang Yuan struggled with all his might. He only had a young body. Fortunately, Fang Yuan's swimming ability was carried over, and after struggling for a while, he was able to raise his head out of the water and took in large breaths. Making the best use of his time, Fang Yuan inspected the goo worms he had. Damn it! Soon he mentally cursed once again, because this time it was not just the 4 mortal goo like he expected, but 12. He had to arrange them in such a short period of time? There were too many ways to arrange them, and under such terrible conditions, hope was slim. Fang Yuan did not hesitate this time, and directly activated Unravel Dream. Immediately an answer appeared in his mind. He immediately understood the first 3 steps of how to activate the goo worms and arrange the goo formation. Only the first 3 steps? Fang Yuan had no choice but to continue to activate Unravel Dream. The 4th step, 5th step, and 6th step also appeared in his mind. It was an accurate and precise answer. But there were still some steps from being able to construct the goo formation. Fang Yuan was just about to activate Unravel Dream for the 3rd time when suddenly a change occurred in the river, and he was swallowed by a whirlpool. Bam! A muffled sound echoed. Fang Yuan crashed headfirst into a tree floating in the whirlpool, falling unconscious immediately. The next moment, Fang Yuan woke up. He had returned to reality. His soul was severely injured, making him see stars. He quickly used guts, goo, 1, 2, 6 guts goo, before he finally recovered. The 3rd stage is even more difficult. The environment to arrange the formation is so hazardous. But my formation path attainment has already advanced to quasi-master level. After Fang Yuan realized it, he slowly opened his eyes with a trace of joy. What was attainment level? Attainment level was a Gu master's unique cognition, involving their sensations and experiences, their insights towards nurturing, using, refining Gu, and so on, summed up and condensed. It was their comprehension of the great Tao of heaven and earth. Attainment levels were divided into 5 levels: ordinary, master, grandmaster, great grandmaster, and supreme grandmaster. Naturally, in between these there were small levels like quasi-master, quasi-grandmaster, and quasi-great grandmaster. Ordinary attainment was the level that most Gu masters would reach in their lifetimes. Quasi-master attainment was already rare. Young Gu masters, with outstanding aptitude or experienced old Gu masters, could reach this. Master level was when the use of Gu worms went beyond superficial workmanship to the level of an art. It was rare to find even one master among 10,000 Gu masters. For example, during the contest of imperial court, there were only 5 enslavement path masters: Jiang Baoya, Yang Po Ying, Ma Sun, Chang Shan Yin, Fang Yuan, and Nu Tu. Naturally, the 1 in 10,000 was referring to mortals. To rank 6 Gu immortals, their main paths were this level at minimum. Those who possessed quasi-grandmaster attainment were often elites among rank 6 Gu immortals. Grandmaster level was when one had a very profound grasp of the path, having deep foundations and being able to mimic the effects of other paths. Specifically, the main path's Gu worms could be used to imitate the advantages of other paths. He Fan's true inheritance had an immortal killer move, 100 Years Harmony, which was a classic example. It used time path Gu worms to produce an effective information path. This also showed that He Fan's time path attainment level was at least Grandmaster. Normally speaking, there were few Gu immortals that could attain Grandmaster level. It often required 100 years or even hundreds of years of accumulation, along with natural talent. In Fang Yuan's first life, he had attained Grandmaster in Blood Path only in the latter stage of his 500 years of life. Those whom were able to have Grandmaster attainment level were mostly rank 7 Gu immortals. Above Grandmaster was Quasi-Great Grandmaster, which was even rarer. They were often rank 7 experts or certain rank 8s. As for Great Grandmaster level, most rank 8 Gu immortals would attain this in their lifetimes. Those whom were able to attain Quasi-Supreme Grandmaster were scarce, few produced even in thousands of years. The rarity of Supreme Grandmasters need not be explained. For instance, in Refinement Path, there were only 3 Supreme Grandmasters in history. Among them was a hairy man, long-hair ancestor. Fang Yuan's Formation Path attainment level could not even be counted as ordinary, but now it had soared to Quasi-Master level. Most Gu masters would find it difficult to reach this in their lifetimes, no matter how much effort they put in. Fang Yan had attained this just by using up a few days of time and exploring 2 stages of the dream realm. This was the power of dream realms. They contain true meaning. Once a Gu immortal successfully explored a dream realm and obtained the true meaning, their attainment level would be directly raised, and their understanding of part of the great Tao would be deepened. Just 2 stages were enough to advance to Quasi-Master level in Formation Path. This dream realm is extraordinary. No wonder it has such difficulty. But I really haven't heard of Tu Shi Chung. His method of education was truly unique, leaving Fang Yan speechless. But the person he was educating was this dream realm source. This youth was clearly a major character. Fang Yan could clearly sense he was only a step away from master level in Formation Path. As long as I complete the 3rd stage, my Formation Path attainment level will soar to master. Fang Yan excitedly licked his lips. A successful exploration of the dream realm raised his foundation. This increase was so huge, allowing Fang Yan to go through an extraordinary shortcut, and he was unable to stop desiring for more. But since he had already left the dream realm, Fang Yuan was not in haste to go back in. He recalled all the scenes in the 3rd stage, especially the Gu worms with him. He had only recognized 60% of them, thus he was now searching for information on these Gu worms to increase his understanding. These were all mortal Gu. It was just that most of them had long since vanished in history. Fang Yuan soon found the information he wanted and gained an understanding of these mortal Gamar. Then he began to reread those mortal formation path inheritances he had bought before. The feeling he got from reading this time was a completely different experience from before. Previously, Fang Yuan only saw the surface of most of the contents of the inheritances, but now he was able to see their deeper meanings with just one look. They were clearly things he had already read, but Fang Yuan made new discoveries this time. This feeling was extremely mysterious, like sudden enlightenment. However, there were things which Fang Yuan could not completely comprehend. After all, he was only at Quasi-Master. Some outstanding characters among mortal Gu Masters could reach Master level. The inheritances they left behind naturally had some things Fang Yuan could not understand properly at the moment. Fang Yuan was immersed in the profundity of formation path, unaware of the passing time. If he was thirsty, he drank water. If he was hungry, he ate some fruits. Many thoughts emerged and disappeared like waves in his mind. He was using wisdom path methods to help quicken his progress of learning formation path. Formation path's contents were truly vast, having connections with every path. Thus, it was considered the most complicated path. Only when Wuan requested an audience did Fang Yuan slowly come back to his senses. Unknowingly, 8 days have already passed. Fang Yuan was in a daze for a moment before his gaze slowly cleared up. In his mind, most of the disordered thoughts gradually faded. For the last 10 days, Fang Yuan was lost in the learning process. Not only did his formation path attainment level receive a boost, his comprehension of various basic contents of formation path had also strengthened. What is he here for? Fang Yuan impatiently furrowed his brows. But after thinking for a moment, he still decided to see this Wu clan, Gu Immortal. As it turned out, Wuan brought over Lady White Rabbit, who reported the situation of the Dream Realm business and gave concrete accounts to Fang Yuan for inspection. Despite Fang Yuan not placing attention on this business, he was, after all, the leader of the whole business. As a subordinate, Lady White Rabbit had to hand over the report.